Early Frigg's Day. Let's talk about Frigg. With the weekend just gone and camping to celebrate spring's hope, let's not overshadow or not take into account that Sunday in the UK was Mother's Day, and Mother's Day is a day that I have a lot of mixed feelings about. Let's leave it at that, shall we? I mean, for both myself and my wife, Mother's Day is a, should we say, a bag of mixed cats, just because of, you know, poor relationships. Without going into too much detail, let's just say there is a massive empty space where my mother should be and she's not. And this isn't because she's passed away. She's still very much alive as far as I'm aware, but she is not a part of my family's life. Carrying on from that, I mean, there are people who have done put in admirable effort to sort of fulfill that role in some way. Not that I've deliberately done it or I've deliberately looked to them. I mean, when I think back, sort of really when my nan passed away, that was sort of losing sort of the a matriarchal figure, if you like, in my life that meant it gave me a lot of responsibility. So that's just a little bit of background for this Mother's Day and what I want to go into talking about. It's not a pity me video. It's I'm okay. It's fine. Because what I want to talk about is working with Frigg. Now, at the weekend, I had a little shrine set up and I didn't take a Frigg figurine. The Frigg figurines I have are very much something personal and kept indoors. And with it being sort of our gathering focused on spring, it's very much a focus on Yord. So while there was no real reference to Mother's Day or anything, even when we did our closing ritual on Sunday, I still felt in my heart that Frigg was on my mind, just because of the understanding I've worked with to where Frigg sort of sits within the Aesir. And really, that's kind of leading me towards sort of looking at her more as a matriarchal figure and how she can be in your life, or how she has worked to sort of not necessarily fulfill any missing role in my life, but sends me subtle hints that, you know, there's a connection. I will always be Odin first, and I also acknowledge that Odin and Frigg are a real power couple. In particular, there's just some things of what we have recorded, of Frigg, that means she can step up to the mark and should not be underestimated. So I would say this Sunday just gone, Mothering Sunday, Mother's Day just gone, she wasn't far from my thoughts, and there's also a lot of self-psychological analysis going on for myself. I'm aware of some of my weaknesses, or weak points, shall we say. Maybe a need to have a matriarchal figure in my life in some way. And coming away from the weekend, really, Frigg hasn't disappointed, because through subtle means I've felt her presence, and it was something that gave me no reason to doubt a subtle influence, and to take some comfort from when, there was means of a connection, a reinforced connection perhaps, or just allowing me to sort of honour her in a way that is equal to her immense subtle way of working. Now, I hope that offers some sort of way of working with the Asir without going into overshare or too much detail. Because that's one of the things that I feel Frigg is at her strongest, when attention is elsewhere. And I think really a matriarch can do their best work when it's subtle, and it's I don't know, the nearest thing to having someone sort of give you a hug, or a hand on the shoulder to say it's all right. Because I think that's one of the things that it's one of the things I think, even as an adult, you never move away from, is sometimes, you do want a parent to sort of just reassure you. Sometimes, adulting can be hard, and you might need your parent to step in. And I don't think that ever goes away. And obviously, you reach a point where, your parents aren't necessarily around anymore. And it becomes something that you miss. If Frigg is fulfilling a role for me, then she has done it magnificently this week. That's all I can say, really. And obviously, I am self-analysing myself about sort of let's say it's just that sort of are you connecting unnecessary dots, or do the gods move in mysterious ways? that is, I guess, what faith is about. And I felt it this week. Apologies if my attempted Danish way of saying Happy Frigg's Day was awful. Yeah. Thank you very much. Do take care. Have a nice weekend. Goodbye.